Hey, hello.
Hello, you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Sun's shining. People don't need to look at the weather app when they listen to our podcast because we will just always discuss the
Just a
weather.
quick little meteorological update. Yeah,
Yeah,
can't even
yeah,
say the word.
yeah. But no, all good. We're definitely in spring now, aren't we?
Yes, even up here in Manchester, it's been lovely. I had coffee for breakfast in the garden yesterday, but I did have like my massive winter dressing gown on, but still, it was lovely.
It was
It,
sunny.
so good. Um, did you have a nice Easter break?
I did, yeah. We had a little family weekend away, and this is actually a really nice segue into what I've been reading because I got like a moment to myself and I started reading this glorious book here I have in my
Oh,
hand, Paint Me Like Your Dead Girls by Cynthia Murphy. So I started reading that, which was just such a treat. So yes, I'm really enjoying it.
oh.
And I love the just the whole setup. I know I'm in for a treat here. So yeah, she's
Well,
found the painting and everything. And
thank you.
I know this has been like it is I know you haven't had it like planned for ages and ages, but I feel like it's been on the cards for ages because of
Mm,
some of the research that we've discussed in the past
yeah.
with, like the paintings and the paint and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's an episode called Mummy Brown, I
Yeah.
think. And that was like my inkling. I think
Mm.
I heard of it somewhere and I was like, oh,
Mm.
like if you used a mummy to make a painting, then it would clearly be haunted. And that was like it's not about mummies, the book, but it was like the little catalyst that got it off. And then I did a whole thing into haunted paintings.
Yeah.
So all of those episodes were the research for that book. But yeah, like a while ago.
Yeah, but just hanging around on like a university campus and all the
Yeah.
art around her and everything, and she's obviously grown up with it, and yeah, it's just it's just brilliant. Love it.
Thank you, because some people on NetGalley said it was very slow.
Oh,
So I'm glad you enjoyed the opening. I'm not looking at NetGalley anymore, but uh
I still
yeah.
maintain that we should have a website where authors get to review reviews, and they can review other people's reviews, not their own,
I do
and
still
it's all
want to
anonymous.
make a series of t-shirts for
Yeah,
like if I ever go on tour, I'm just gonna have a series of t-shirts with my 1-star reviews on.
yeah.
Um, because my favorite one ever was the one. I think I've said this on here before. It's on Amazon somewhere and it says unbelievable. And that's not a compliment. And that's
Yeah.
it. That's the whole review. It's just amazing. Um, yeah, listen, what are you gonna do? That takes me on to I was gonna mention, I think I'm allowed to mention it because it's on Waterstones, but Waterstones are doing an exclusive sprayed edge edition of Paint Me Like Your Dead
Mm.
Girls. So I've not announced it on my Instagram yet, but it is on the Waterstones website. It's doing really well, actually.
A nice one.
Yeah, so people are pre-ordering, so thank you. And it has got gorgeous pink sprayed edges with little skulls with paint dripping off them on it, and it really matches the Keep Your Friends Close one.
Mm.
So yeah, that's on there, and I'm sure I'll be able to announce it any day. But Waterstones did a push notification of it, so it's out there.
Yeah.
It's in the world. So go and have a look. It's very pretty. Um, and the standard edition may or may not look extra pretty as well, but I'm not sure yet.
Right.
Um, but I am reading, or I'm about to start reading, and I'm very excited. I've just handed in book 8, which is still horror, but a little bit of a departure. So I am reading just for a little bit of research.
Oh, look at that.
Twilight, and I bought the exclusive like
Oh,
2020, is it the 20th anniversary or something edition with the edges, but they're those edges that are Edward one way and Bella the other way. And
incredible. It's
it's
nearly as
just
good as the mammoth tooth.
yeah, it's like magic. But I made a cheeky reference to it in the book. And obviously it's like the paranormal romance like textbook, isn't
Mm.
it? So I'm reading it
Are you enjoying it?
for tips, basically. I haven't
Yeah.
started it yet. I know I'll enjoy it because I had to
Yeah.
flick through it because I made a Loca reference in my book, and the character's like, "What?" And the guy's like, "Listen, when you get to book two, come back, and that will make sense." And but I had to look in that to make sure which book it was in
Yeah.
when I referenced it, and when I just having a flick through and you catch like little lines, and I was like, "Oh, I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
in for such a treat! I can't wait."
I I watched them all recently because
Yeah, you did.
they feature really heavily in OnlyFans, and well, they're referenced a lot, and they're just, I know they're quite problematic now. Some of, some of the stuff that happens, and Edward kind of basically, you know, stalking Bella, but I just
Well, he's
love
a
them.
vampire, Georgia,
I
so
know this is what they
it's
do.
yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
I just love them so much. Like all the good and all the bad, and that, yeah, they're just so much fun. And it was Twilight. Like Twilight was the thing, wasn't it?
yeah. Oh my
So
God, yeah. I remember reading. Is it book two when there's just like some blank pages because
oh,
like nothing has happened in her life when Edward
because
is
he's
gone.
not there.
But I was reading it like, I get it, I get
Yeah.
it. Stephanie Mayer is like you've seen into my soul. Um, yeah, love them. Did you ever read the one from Edward's point of view?
No,
Me
no,
neither.
no.
You know me, I'm a
Maybe
bit
I
of a
should.
purist.
Yeah,
No, don't think I need to.
no.
It's it's like when 50 Shades of Grey came back and it was his point. I was like, no.
No. I've wrote this bit the other day where um one of the, it's dual perspective OnlyFans, and the one of the characters, Phoebe, is brought in as a chatter for OnlyFans, and she's having like a job interview, but the interviewer isn't being very forthcoming about what the role actually is, and she's like,
Right.
so what am I doing then? And he's like, oh well, you'll be working for this guy Asher, he's kind of an influencer. And she's like, right, okay. And he's given her all these, like, really vague information. And then she clicks what it is. And then she's like, okay, I think I know what it is. And the guy's like, say it. It's that dialogue from Twilight. It's
Yeah.
like, say it. And she's like, OnlyFans.
And if you don't want to buy the book now, you'll never want to buy the book. Amazing.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we should maybe, like, we should start doing one-off specials where we can just talk about things like
Just talk
Twilight for
about
the whole
Twilight.
episode.
That sounds
Yeah,
like a really good idea.
yeah.
Okay, well, I
Anyway,
am going to introduce our guest because she's just appeared in the waiting room.
I'm going to
Um,
hold her book up while you introduce.
yeah, this is our buddy Julia, and I'm gonna say now, potentially, this is not PG.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so if you normally listen to this and there's kids around, I
Mm,
might just listen on your own first.
yeah.
I don't think my mum's gonna like it. I'll
Do you
just
know
say
what she's
that now.
talking about?
I have an idea.
Right, okay.
So I think there's going to be lots of like cringing and laughter from us. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, Julia is. So about Julia on her website, after a brief but fun stint working in television and as a primary school teacher, Julia and I have got little bits like that in common that we've never quite sat down and got round to because she also lived in Hong Kong for a bit, which
I
is
didn't know
quite
that.
strange. Yeah. So
Mm.
anyway, so we've got all these weird little things in common. So after that, Julia decided to take her writing dreams more seriously. She lives in southwest London with her family and ragdoll cats and spends her time writing, reading, dreaming of holidays, going on holidays, from what I know, and watching too much reality TV. She aims to write the kind of books that make you laugh out loud and sometimes cry on public transport. And I think this book,
Yeah.
45 Things to Do Before You're 45, I think that definitely did it. I listened on Audible because it's an Audible original, but the
Yeah.
paperback has just come out, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Let's get her on.
let's let her in.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
And Julia, what is that poster behind you? Is that what would Gloria do?
Yes.
Did you know
Oh,
Gloria is my alter ego? I get called Gloria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll have to tell you about it one day.
I look forward to that.
and Georgia made posters for my birthday saying WWCM.
I did.
So what
Ah.
would
What did
Cynthia
Cynthia
Murphy
Murphy
do?
do? Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
Sorry. Back to you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
hello.
Julia.
Hello.
Are you want to come down from your launch party?
I've just about got over my hangover from my launch party.
It
No, it
looks
wasn't
so
too bad
good.
actually. No, it was a lot of fun. The party was fun. And I just think it's one of those things, isn't it? Like you just publishing can be such a shit show. You've just got to celebrate everything.
Yeah,
So I was like, I'm gonna have a party. I'm gonna put it on myself. I don't care. I'm gonna get an awesome dress. Gonna
Yeah.
get my nails done.
yeah, good
And
for
yeah,
you.
it was really fun. It was a really nice night.
Oh, good. I think that as well, because it's not that long since I had a launch. I had one in September and then they moved my book up to July. And I was like, I'm having another one. I'm having another party. I get to wear a different colour dress. Like,
Exactly,
so yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
because
I
yeah,
think,
it can be lonely and it can
yeah.
be like waiting for news all the time, waiting for little tidbits of
Oh
stuff.
God, yeah.
And then it all comes in 1 week. And then for the rest of the year, there's like nothing.
Nothing. You
Yeah.
just sat tapping away silently,
Yeah,
thinking that
thinking,
everything you're writing is rubbish.
yeah, like why? This is awful. Oh God.
I said this to somebody when I was chatting because I was at Julia's party, just
You
FYI.
were.
And I was chatting to somebody, I can't remember who it was, but we were saying that you treat every book like it's the last book you're ever going to write
Yeah,
or get to
yeah,
share. And
Yeah.
because you just don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what's around the corner. And I've just written the acknowledgements for Foes and Cons. It's
Oh,
like, and honestly, it's like a who's who
like a
of George's
scroll.
life. Yeah, it's just like going on, and then you can like feel the music starting to play as they try and get me off.
What do you do with your acknowledgements now, Cynthia? Because you're not just thanking all the same people.
They do get kind of smaller and
Yeah,
smaller. Yeah. Unless there's like new publishers who've come on board and then you kind of
yeah.
thingy. But I'm technically out of contract as of yesterday,
Oh
What?
which
gosh.
is the scariest thing. I delivered the third book in my contract.
Oh
Um,
my God.
so
That's
How are
gone
you
so
feeling?
fast.
Like excited or nervous or a bit of both?
a bit of both because yeah, it's
You
just
can tell by
scary.
her face.
I've not been out of contract since my first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's yeah, a little bit scary. So um it all depends what this book does,
Yeah.
whether it's exciting or not. Because if it
And
does really
what?
well, then it's really exciting. But
Yeah.
if not,
What are
then
you working on now?
I'm gonna try an adult.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a horror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still a horror. Very like paranormal.
Okay.
Just like fun, just for fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then if someone picks it up, excellent. My agent's excited, so that's one person. So
I think
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm very nervous. So
Mm.
so adult publishers, be nice.
If you're listening, which we know you
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
you
Come
know
and
they
buy
all
it
tune
before I've
in.
written it. Come and do a Georgia, please.
Yeah. We all want to do a
I
Georgia.
know.
That's the
How
stuff
nice
of
is that?
dreams.
Yeah, full of Georgia. Anyway, Julia,
Mm,
um,
Yes.
I
this is
just read,
about you.
yeah, not us.
Yeah.
I just read your bio and I said we've got like some weird little things in common. So you used to be a primary school teacher, which I feel like I knew, but I feel like we've never sat down and spoken about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was a primary school teacher for maybe, well, teaching properly for like 7 years. And then I left and did a bit of like literacy intervention at a secondary school. But yeah, so teaching for a lot longer, but yeah, primary school for about 7 years.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? But it's like hard.
Yeah, I really miss it, actually. I really miss working with kids.
Well, that's the only thing I miss. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, do you know what? I used to really like planning lessons. I know that sounds mad, but
Yeah.
I think it's quite creative.
Yeah.
And especially if you have those kids that I love that challenge of like, okay, how am I going to get this across to them? Because I know there's some kids in this class that are not going to understand.
Yeah.
So what can I do to make it fun and to differentiate? And, I mean, obviously that gets more boring after you've done it for a number of years because you're like, oh, Jesus, not
Yeah.
ratios again. What can I do? But, I miss the kids. And obviously, because I don't write children's books, and I suppose you don't write for little ones either, you don't get those kind of school visits or
No.
get to fill your cup in that kind of way,
Yeah.
Would
which
you
would be a
ever,
nice
both
way
of
to do
you?
it.
Would you both like have a go at writing something for much younger audience? Would
I
that interest you?
can't.
Can't do
I
it.
cannot. I've tried
No,
to
too
do middle
sweary.
grade. Yeah, I think my joy in YA was that period of life
Mm,
when your feelings are so big
Yeah.
and everything's so intense and it feels so important and there's really big changes and it's a really kind of transitional, important
mm.
angsty stage. And I think when I sat down to write middle grade, well, I actually tried to write, I was like, God, those young reader books, they're only what, like 7,000 words or something? You could
Yeah,
knock one of those off in a week. So
easy.
I was like, right, I'm going to do that. And I sat down, I was like,
Oh my
literally, what
God.
can you write about? Like a bunny going missing? Like what? Just
Yeah.
no swearing, no angsty feelings. I'm like, I don't know where I go with that. So no,
You
sadly, I
do those
couldn't.
two things very well, Julia.
Thank you.
Sweary and angsty
Swearing
feelings.
and angst. I'm very
Yeah,
good at the swearing.
yeah,
And the angst.
yeah.
I tried middle grade and I got told it was too dark several times, which
Mm,
absolutely was, because I would still do horror.
mm,
I would love to do a middle grade graphic novel, but I've not got the skills to draw it myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to do one. I've got an idea. I've had an idea for years and years and years. But no, I think I'm the same. I think I love that, like feeling like everything, I don't know, like you're the whole center of the world and nothing
Yes.
else matters apart from,
Mm.
like, when you get copy edits back and it's like, would this person really feel like this? Would they not think of others? I'm like, no, they're 16. Absolutely not. They don't care. The book I've just finished, there's bits in it where I'm like, oh God, should she be really like distraught and worried at this point? And I'm like, but there's a really hot guy there. And you do just find ways to forget about the other stuff when there's like a very hot guy who wants to teach you how to do the waltz. It's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything else.
Definitely agree.
So yeah. So no. So back to Julia.
Yeah, take us back, Julia, because we all started. We got to know each other in a WhatsApp group because we all published the same year. But I'm sure your writing journey started long before that. So how did you go from, oh, I think I want to do this, to where you are now?
So it's that really cliche thing of like, I've always written. I wrote some really terrible emo poetry at school that made it into the school magazine. And then obviously I always wanted to be a music writer. So I went to university in Manchester and I chose Manchester. I didn't go and have a look round. I just chose it because I knew the music scene was great and it had a good reputation for English. And it had a good student newspaper. So I was like, that's all I need to do. So I always wanted to do that and then kind of accidentally got into TV and then transitioned into teaching. And so the writing kind of just disappeared. And it wasn't until my kids were small and I was on maternity leave and I was so just bored. My mind was just phasing out. Everything is mind-numbingly bored. I found that stage of little kids equal parts totally exhausting and totally mind-numbingly boring. And I just wasn't using my brain at all. And then a friend of mine, we were living on the Isle of Wight at the time, and a friend of mine was telling me about this writing group that she was going to start going to. And I kind of said, oh, I've been thinking about writing. So I went along to that and it was brilliant. It was just like 5 of us and we'd do these little starters with a random topic that were like a 5-minute sort of starter that we all read out, and then we'd read a chapter of whatever we're working on and we'd get feedback. And it was through that I met someone who was a big part of Scooby. So for those of you that don't know, I know you two do, but the Society of Children's book writers and illustrators.
Mhm.
And they were brilliant. Like I joined that and I went to their conference. I sort of went to little local groups. I went on a retreat and met loads of amazing writing friends. And I just sort of started doing it a bit more seriously. And I was working on a book that was one of those that it was really painful. It was taking me a really long time. I'd never written properly before. It wasn't really getting anywhere. And then it was at a Scooby conference that I met an agent who was brilliant and basically just said, I love your writing. I love your voice. I'll be honest with you. This book, I won't be able to sell this book. No one will be able to sell this book. My suggestion is you put it in the drawer and you get on with the next thing and send that to me when you're done. And I think I needed that closure of like, give up on this, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But also there's something there, like keep going. So then, yeah, like it took a couple of years, maybe a bit more. I had, I entered a few competitions or sent out to, like we discovered, didn't we, Georgia, that we were both in the same year of the Undiscovered Voices.
Yeah.
But you were a finalist and I was not. I was on the long list, but you were on the short list, weren't you? So yeah, I've got through that with something. Met my agent my first agent through a Scooby agents party. And at that point,
I went to a Scooby agents party as
we
well.
were probably at the same.
Yeah, might have been at the same one. Yeah.
I found it deeply uncomfortable.
It was awful. If we had have been there, I wish we would have found each other because it was like first day of sixth form or something.
Oh,
and
my
you
goodness.
don't know anybody. It's horrible.
But also like just each agent after the panel, people just swarm to them, don't they? And then you know that you're supposed to be doing that. You're like, that's why I'm here. Come on, Jules, you've got to pitch. So you go and like stand on the outskirts of this group where everyone's going, well, my idea is, and my idea is, and try and will up the confidence and I actually didn't pitch to her that night because it was just too much and I was too nervous. And so I emailed her, I think like the day afterwards, and was like, I was at the agents party last night and a lot of the things you said you're looking for, I think this, we might be a good fit. But yeah, so I didn't actually get around to pitching because it was just too much. It was, yeah.
That sounds
when I went
terrible.
to one, we had name badges and you wrote your name on it, but you also had to write what character you identified most with from a book.
No. I didn't. What did you put on yours?
Mildred Hubble.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What would you have put, Julia?
I don't know. I want to say Pippi Longstocking, but it's been such a long time since I've read Pippi My naughty little sister. I'd be my naughty little sister.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really hard.
I think mine would have been Mary out of Secret Garden. She's
You're
just like really grumpy and stubborn. Yes, Mary from the Bible, the Virgin Mary.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
How good is A Secret Garden? I love that book.
Yeah, love it. Like still to this day. Do you want to see? I
haven't read it for years and years.
Oh,
it's my original copy that the thing fell off, so I covered it in nail varnish. Like it's such a kid copy, but it's so old. I need to read it again. And it says Cynthia Power, Year 5 MA, because that was my class at the time.
Oh, cute.
And someone's written the date in 1992.
Yeah, see, I can't remember it, so I've got a terrible memory. I remember loving it.
Yeah, well, she's just really, really grumpy and like pedantic and hates everyone and has to really like learn to be around people, like really identify with it.
That's so not you. You are so not grumpy.
Oh, I am. Ask Luke.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Not to everyone else, you're not.
Not to people I like.
Anyway, sorry, Julia.
I know.
No, it's fine.
You got in touch with your agent.
So then my first agent took me on. I was writing this book that is still maybe one of my favorite things I've written that I cannot get. I've given it to my now agent like 3 times and been like,
Oh.
when I first signed with her, and then recently, because I was like, oh, I think epic romances are back. Do you want to take another look at my Frozen romance? And she was like, yeah,
Oh,
okay. And then it came back as a no. I'm like, please.
Oh.
But yeah, so it was this YA romance about a girl who gets cryonically frozen and then wakes up like 100 years in the future and has to find her boyfriend, her love, the love of her life from before. And, there are tears and deep feelings and all that stuff.
Swearing.
Swearing, there's minimal swearing in that one. But yeah. So my first agent took me on with that and we worked on that. It went out on sub and I had a really painful submission process whereby I got these amazing responses. There was one in particular from this agent who, like a really long email saying how much she loved it, how she'd been sat in her car sobbing, waiting for her kids to play football as she, sobbing at the ending and all these lovely things about it. And then, but I just don't feel that it's quite right for our list and,
oh,
whatever
Wow.
reasons. And then I had another editor who wanted to meet, and loads of people were saying, oh my God, if an editor wants to meet you, then they just want to make sure that you're not crazy and that you'll be able to go out and sell it and promo, whatever. So I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. And we discussed some changes that she wanted, which I was all happy with. I went away and did those changes, sent it back to her, and then it took like about 4 months for her to come back ultimately with a no.
oh,
So that was just, yeah, so painful, such a painful process. And then after that didn't go, I wrote, like over the course of maybe about 3 weeks, I wrote this really weird, dark, little twisty, just about a kidnapping, well, a robbery that goes wrong. And it turns out that the girl who's being robbed knows the guy that's robbing her. And I mean, it was the weirdest thing. It's so not me. There was no humor in it at all. It was just really dark but kind of with not much action. But I wanted there to be tension. I think I wanted there to be tension and a push
Mm.
because I was thinking that my first book didn't sell because there wasn't enough of that or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I sent that to my agent and she very politely was like, I mean, I could send this out on sub. I'm more than happy to, but you have to kind of think long term and think, is this the kind of book that you want to be writing going forward? Because if someone does want this and then they sign you up for like 2 books, whatever, this will be your brand and this will be, she was like, and I just don't think it's what you want to write. And I was like,
You know what, though? That's
okay,
such good advice. And it's not maybe what you want to hear at the time,
no,
but that is something that you don't get told very often. Like that absolute truth of, listen, if we sell this
yeah,
book, you're going to write 5 more if
yeah.
it does well. Or, yeah, that's really
Like, is
useful.
this what you want to be your thing?
Yeah,
Like,
because she could have just gone, yeah, great.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get
yeah,
like a little
definitely.
deal for it and carry on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, that was a disappointment, but, totally the right thing to do. And then after that, I ended up writing Hexed. And yeah, and that was quite a painful process. That went on sub over COVID. I think literally
oof.
it got sent out maybe a week or two before COVID, maybe.
Oh
But I
God,
remember I got, obviously, I mean, you'll remember everything was up in flux. No one knew what was happening. They didn't know if the books they had were still going to come out. They pushed a lot of
yeah,
books back. And then what happened was I thought it was done. I thought it wasn't getting anywhere. I think it had been on sub for about 6 months. And then in the must have been the August of 2020, my editor had been on had been furloughed. And she came back and it was in her inbox. And she was like, oh my God, I've been looking for something feminist and fun. And this is exactly what what I've been wanting. And then, yeah, signed. And then it came out quite quickly. So that she signed me we did the deal in like the August and it came out the following July, which is quite
Yeah,
fast for
that is
yeah,
fast.
publishing.
Mm.
Yeah, which in hindsight, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think
yeah.
sometimes having a longer run up means more time for covers and promo and
And
It
writing.
and
various
writing,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it does, but then also I hate all that hanging around.
That's true.
Like I was thinking
Yeah.
today, anyone listening who isn't that familiar with publishing, I'm talking about the book that I've just sent in. That book's not out until 2027.
Yeah.
So the book that I've got coming out was finished. It's been finished for months and months.
Yeah.
So like my parents get confused. They're like, which one is this now? Um, but that long lead time, I often find it's not as bad now because I have books out and I've got books coming out. But when I
Yeah.
changed my contract, when I changed publishers and I got that long lead time and I had like 18 months when nothing came out, I was going insane. I was going
Yeah.
back because I was like, what's the process with this one? What's the timeline like for this one? Because I knew what would happen with the others.
Yeah.
And then it was like back to square one. And I was like, should I be asking questions now? Is it all right that there's like not a cover yet? And I hated it. So I would rather they go, hey, yeah, let's sign it. And we're gonna put it out in 3 weeks. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if you're used to that and you have been, because you've just been, like on a schedule, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Churning them out. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this 45 Things one, I mean, that was on sub for a long time.
I remember, yeah.
And then it got picked up and they wanted to put it out really quickly. But it came out like because it got picked up by Audible Original as an Audible Original first. But then they have exclusivity for a year. So it's then been another year before it's now out in paperback. So that's been ages. I've had to
Mm.
reread that because I've forgotten most of what
Yeah.
happens. People have been like, oh, I love that bit where blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely wrote
Jesus, did I
that.
write
Yeah.
that? So yeah, it's weird. But yeah, the Hex one was really quick. And then Twice Hex came after that. And then, as you know, they didn't want any more books from me. And then it was kind of back to the drawing board and throw into that being dropped by my agent because she didn't want to, well, she didn't at the time represent adult.
Oh,
And yeah, so 45 Things was the one that I wrote that got me my new agent. And
yeah.
that's again, that was a big gap. So this is the first paperback I've had out in 4 years, I guess,
Yeah.
because Twice Hex
Gosh.
was
Yeah.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like when you wrote 45 Things, because I remember when you started writing it, were you just like, right, I'm just gonna write the thing that I really want to write and make it
Yes.
as much fun as I can? And that's what makes it so enjoyable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in that place. And it kind of happened with Hexed as well, actually, because I'd had that disappointment with the first one not going and then her not liking the second one. With Hexed, I was just like, sod it, I'm going to write something that I'm not going to think about the market. I'm just going to write what I want to write and what I think is fun. And that was, period witches. And then with this one, it was the same. I felt really battered by everything. I knew I wanted to write adult, and I'd had a go at writing an adult from a Substack that I'd done, but it didn't quite work as a whole book. So I just, yeah, sat down and I was like, I'm going to have as much fun with this, and I'm going to pretend I'm not writing it in terms of thinking that people are going to read it other than like my friends, which is what happened with the Substack. I wrote that Substack over COVID and it was just ridiculous, silly fun. And I would send out a chapter a week and just to my friends. It wasn't Substack at the time, it was Tiny Letter, but it's on Substack now. And everyone was like, oh, it's my highlight of a Friday. I love it. It's so much fun reading it with
Oh,
my coffee. I'm really enjoying it. And I got so much joy from just that little interaction, even though it was literally about like 20, 30 people reading it or something. And I think that having that, not needing to think about like the industry and your sales numbers and if it's going to be in this bookshop and has it got this promo and whatever, just writing for fun and having people enjoy it and tell you they enjoy it was so freeing.
yeah.
And I
That
think,
sounds lovely,
yeah,
actually.
and that's what I wanted to do when I sat down to do this. I was like, I'm just going to imagine that I'm writing it for my friends because they'll resonate with this stuff, they'll find it funny. Yeah. That's why it had a lot more swears in it. I had to cut my swears, had to cut my F words in by half. I had to take out some other special words and, and yeah, reduce my swearing a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
can that probably takes us on to your research, because if you haven't read this book, it's about the main character Charlie decides that she is going to write herself a list because she's feeling a little bit lost. She's in denial about perimenopause. She's a little bit invisible at home, isn't she? She's lost her
yeah.
husband to Iron Man training.
You know what? It's my favorite, but also most hated part of the book because I know so many people whose husbands like suddenly go, "Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
must have all this free time. I'm
yeah.
gonna go and do an Iron Man."
Me too. And
And just
literally,
like,
I was sat at the pub one day and we were talking about, I think I was talking about how my husband Will was going off on he was training for a big bike ride or something. And he had to do like a 5 hour ride that weekend, or we had to factor around it. And then everyone was like, oh, well, that's nothing. My husband's doing an Ironman. So we've got to go to this place here so he can do his swimming and this place. And blah, blah, blah. And everyone was like, oh, mine's just signed up for an Ironman too. And everyone on the table, everyone's husband was doing some kind of physical challenge, and there were about 3 or 4 that were doing Ironmans, and I was just like, "This is crazy. Is this like a thing?"
Yeah.
mm,
And in the opening where poor Charlie is like massively hung over, and her husband is supposed to be
In
helping
charge of the
in
kids, yeah,
charge of the kids, and he's like, oh, but I've got to go and train,
yeah.
sorry. And
yeah,
it's just this absolute tunnel vision with this thing that they've signed up to, like nothing else matters.
yeah.
So Charlie writes this list. So, Julia, are you going to talk to us about some of the research that you did for this list, and keeping it PG, obviously?
Well,
I've
do you
already
know
made a
what's-
disclaimer that my mum can't listen. So
Oh, really?
just feel free. I made a disclaimer earlier saying if you listen with kids, then maybe don't, because I didn't know what you were going to talk about. So
Oh, okay, good. No, it's an interesting one. I'm not a research heavy writer specifically. I've chosen to be like that because, especially, like, there's no way I could write anything historical because I cannot be asked to do that proper kind of
Yeah.
research into
Yeah.
what people were wearing and eating and saying. And
oh, it's like my dream. But anyway.
what, doing that, all that research?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I'm literally
Really?
my hobby this week, because I sent my book in, is the 1926 Irish census came out this weekend. So like that's all I've been doing.
Nerd.
Oh, see,
I am a nerd. Yeah.
I just want to get on with the writing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the research kind of impedes me of just being able to sit down and just get on with it. I'm like, oh God, do I really have to work out what this place looks like, or what I don't know, I can't even come up with the words. Yeah, it annoys me that I have to do any. So the list is a funny one because while I am not Charlie, and I say this a lot, as I said at my launch, this book comes, it has an emotional truth to it. So I was very much struggling, with that early stage of like perimenopause and what the hell is happening to me? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I not sleeping? Why do I hate my husband? And I think, and also that sense of, my kids are now 17 and 15. They're a lot more independent. You go from having to be home like all the time, like literally not being able to go into town because you've got to be back for 2:30 to do the pickup, and you've got to factor in, your evenings around their clubs and obviously cooking them dinner and all that kind of stuff. You go from always having to be there to suddenly being there and no one else is around. And I've had so many evenings where I'm like, hello, anyone? And, like, one of mine's at the gym, the other one's rowing, Will's still at work, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just me then. And, and cooking dinner for either just me or me and one of the kids, and it's such a shift from what you're used to, and that kind of pressure and that time pressure. And I think it's a really weird stage, and you're having to reassess everything and work out who you are, if you're still the person you were. And I think so with that list, some of those things, some of them I've done, and I think are just good things to, general things that I'm pleased I've done that are on the list. Some of them are things I would still like to do, like surfing. I haven't surfed yet.
Mhm.
I've not eaten an oyster.
Me neither.
Can't bring yourself to do it.
Well, this is okay. So this is what I mean about the research. I had friends who were like, I was talking to them about things that were on the list and things I was going to go and do for the list. And I said, oh, I don't think I can do an oyster. And they were like, Jules, don't be such a dick. You can eat an oyster. I was like, I really don't think. And I haven't been able to bring myself to eat an oyster in the name of research. That's how shit I am.
Well, they're so big, and
But I think my problem with it is that I have such a strong gag reflex.
Yeah.
And when you have an oyster, you want to eat it at a decent restaurant, right? Like you
Yes.
don't want to, it's not something you do at
Oh.
home. So I'm like, if I go to a fancy restaurant and order some nice oysters, I know what will happen. I'll just like hoik it
Yeah.
up all over the table.
and
In the
also,
So now I'm
Savoy.
like, I don't know where I can do it.
well, there's like 6 of them. So if you don't like one,
And
you
you've
eat
got
the other
another 5
5.
staring you in the face.
My husband doesn't eat fish, so every time he goes somewhere, he goes, "Do you want to try an oyster with like a glass of champagne?" And I'm like, "Are you gonna have the others?" It's like, no. I'm like, you can't just buy one oyster.
You know, there are some really fancy places you can buy 1 or 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they're the kind
But
of places
still-
that you
Still
don't want to
wouldn't.
spit it out. Like,
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
maybe we should all get together and buy a little plate of oysters and just like hide in a corner, try.
Just to have a go. We'll take them in the girls' loos.
Yeah.
So, Georgia, have you had an oyster? Do you like oysters?
No.
No.
But I've never tried one, but I like fish and stuff like that. But
See,
I
I
do.
don't.
It's
I
the
just
It's the
You know, I'm-
texture.
It
It's the
is.
texture
it's like
of them.
phlegm, and it's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
and you're not meant to chew it, so you just swallow it. So I'm
You're
like, what's
supposed
the
to swallow it.
point?
I know.
No.
See, but then I feel like I should do that before I die. I should eat
I
an
know, me
oyster.
too, me too.
Okay, we need to,
Yeah.
we're definitely doing this, girls. We're having an oyster
An
day.
oyster night. Can we get a big dirty burger after it? Just
Yes,
Yeah.
can
Like,
get it
wash it down.
alongside it. So as
Yeah.
soon as we've had it, we can just go straight onto the burger.
what if we all
I-
like it? What if we're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
this is
we've
the
been
best
missing
thing
out.
ever. Yeah.
I'm really weird about, like, Cynthia knows this, whenever she's like, what do you want for dinner when I go
Oh,
and
yeah.
stay with her? And I'm like, I don't like non-solid foods. So anything like dips or hummus or like
What?
ketchup,
I know.
nothing. And the only exception is sour cream. That's the only thing I will like entertain. And my brother doesn't like soup, and my sister doesn't like milkshake or anything. So we think that my mum must have like done some really terrible like blending and pureeing when we were kids, and just put us off anything like that. Like, I don't even really like flavored ice cream. Like, I'll eat vanilla ice cream, but I don't enjoy.
Well, that's not to
strawberry
do
ice
with the
cream.
texture then. That's to do with.
I just feel like if it's going to taste like something, I want the texture in my mouth. So I wouldn't eat strawberry ice cream because I just
You'd rather
eat
have a strawberry. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I don't
Yeah.
like, I've got a thing about hot fruit. I don't like hot fruit.
Oh yeah, I could
I
get
do.
that.
I like.
It's weird. Like I can't, like crumbles and
Love it.
I can't do a hot
Oh,
fruit.
no, I
Again,
love
I'm like, if I'm
crumble,
gonna
yeah.
have fruit, give me like a fruit salad I can do, or like strawberries. Can't do any.
Like a hot you biting into a hot apple.
Literally eat a baked apple. I had a poached pear, and it was one of the nicest things I've ever had.
Oh, see, no, I can't do
Just
that.
gonna throw this apple in the microwave and have myself a bit of hot fruit. Oh,
It's funny though,
God.
because whenever I buy anything like that, Luke comes home and goes, "Oh, that's a very you dessert,"
Oh,
because he would rather
right,
have like a
okay.
chocolate cake or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
see,
like-
I'm there with the
Sending a
chocolate
message.
cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, sending a message.
Is he saying
Right,
you're
okay.
fancy, Cynthia? You're posh. So
No,
yeah, in terms of
Selfish.
in terms of research, I did. So I went to a spin class. Well done, me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well done.
Well done, me. I went to one where there was prosecco at the end, which
Nice.
I think was on brand.
Yeah.
I hated every minute of it. Nearly cried. It's not my thing. I will not be going to another one.
No, me neither.
Yeah, very shouty, and it was in the book. I did the spin class section, and there's these 2 guys like being really competitive with their stretching and stuff. It was literally like that. There were only 2 guys in the whole class, and they were so competitive. Like they were trying to beat the teacher the whole time, the female
Oh.
teacher, like the whole time. Whenever she was like, "Now don't go above blah, 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 or these are the parameters. You could see them like they would go as fast and as hard as they can, getting all red-faced and like, and because it showed everyone's scores, which is awful.
Oh, that's awful.
They were literally just like going against each other. I was like, guys, it's personal gain. Like,
Oh,
chill.
grow up. I do have an
Yeah.
image now of them just doing stretches, like
Yeah.
hip
Repetitive
thrust
stretching.
stretches. Yeah.
Like, look at me, I can get my leg over my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a spin class. I went to puppy yoga,
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
which was very cute. I'd kind of wanted to do that anyway, but that was a really cute one. They did
Yeah.
piss everywhere. And
Are
it
they up for
was
adoption, the dogs, or what's the?
do you know, I don't know. No, I think they're from a breeder. They were all, the one I went to was really unfortunate because they were types of Shih Tzu, so they were actually quite ugly puppies.
Oh,
Like they had the really flat faces. They were like a mix between a Shih Tzu and something else, but they were probably the ugliest puppies I've seen.
they had good
Um,
personalities.
They
yeah,
had good personalities. They were quite cute. But yeah, it was not relaxing at all.
yeah,
Like you do the first bit without the puppies and then they let the puppies in. And then like there's kind of no point in the teacher being there because no one's able to do anything that she's saying. And the
yeah.
puppies are pissing everywhere and like it's not a thing. And then people are running, the assistants are running around with like blue towels mopping up all the piss and everything. It's like, yeah, this isn't that relaxing.
No, I don't think
Sure.
so.
But that was
Oh,
fun. I'm glad I did that. And I spoke to my waxing lady about how one would get a Hollywood wax. Again, I couldn't bring myself to do that for research. I was like, I have my limits.
yeah.
Oysters and Hollywood waxes, I'm not doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you eat
and
snails?
no, that's another one I haven't
Oh,
eaten.
I've
Have
done
you
that.
had snails?
Yeah.
Is it just
And
they're just
caviar
very...
I couldn't do either because
I
I don't
want
like
to do
fish.
that. I want to do. So in London, I can't remember what it's called. Bob Ricard, is
Oh
it?
yeah.
They do you can get a glass of champagne and a caviar bump that they just put it on your
Oh, yeah,
hand and you
that's
just
yeah.
have it. So I really want to do that.
Oh, see, but caviar's really fishy, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like
I don't
fish.
like fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Maybe
But
we
yeah,
should have some caviar next time we meet up,
Oh
Cynthia.
yes.
let's do
Caviar bumps for everyone.
caviar bumps and oysters,
It
and then a
sounds
burger.
awful, doesn't it? Like the worst night out ever. And then
Yeah.
McDonald's on the way home.
We know
Yeah.
you've had a martini.
Yes, I've had a martini.
I don't think
Um,
I've ever had a martini, you know.
I have when I was 16 or 17, I worked in House of Fraser in Manchester. And at the end of the shift, like loads of my friends worked there. And one of my male friends said, do you want to go and get a drink afterwards? A guy that I know works in the bar behind, so he'll serve us. So I was
Oh.
like, yeah, okay. So we went in and it was a Harry's bar, which obviously I didn't know what that was at the time, but they're very famous for martinis. And so I went in and I was like, yeah, I'll have a martini. I had no idea what a martini was. I was like
No.
a child. I got it. And I remember just going like drinking it and then just immediately drinking the thing and being like, that's just alcohol. And he was like, yeah. I was like, how did you think I actually wanted a martini?
Yeah.
You're only 18 as well. How did you think that? So that like it scarred me, but I've got it in my head that I really need to have one. And that if I just get it at the right place, that I'll love it. And I
Yeah.
know I
They
won't.
do taste a little bit like petrol. I always think I want one. I've had a few times when I've been like, oh yeah, we're in a nice enough place. I think I'm going to go for a martini. And then every time I have it, I have that first sip and I'm like,
No.
oh yeah, this is just like petrol. How do
Shame.
people? But then
Yeah.
I keep thinking as well, maybe I haven't gone for like the right one because there's
Yeah.
like gin ones, vodka ones, twist or dirty or
Can you get espresso
wet.
martinis? Is that a thing as
Yeah,
well?
but they're just like chavvy and really nice. So they don't count.
Georgia, have you never had an espresso
Have you
martini?
not?
No, I don't really
It's a
do.
liquid and it tastes like something else.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because I don't drink iced coffee either. Because
Do you
coffee
like
should be
coffee?
hot.
It
I
is
love
good.
coffee, but it should be
Okay.
hot.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. But espresso martinis are very good.
Yeah, they're quite
Oh,
nice.
so weird.
They're sweet. They're kind of sweet, but with a kick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can have one,
Okay.
but they are too sweet. But yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to make a dirty martini a couple of Christmases ago. So I bought like a fancy jar of olives to use the brine
Yeah.
out of it. And then when I got it, didn't realize that the what they were in was like oil and herbs and stuff. So when I made this martini, I remember sending a picture to our group with Josh, Georgia,
Yeah.
and he just put something like swamp. Like,
Swamp,
yes,
yeah.
basically. It just,
Like-
and we couldn't drink them, had to throw them away.
Like Bridget
Ooh.
Jones.
And we had the
Blue
good
Soup.
vodka, but I don't really like vodka. So maybe that's another problem. Oh, yeah.
Do you like gin?
Yes, but in something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can have a gin martini. I
I'll
don't even know what else is in that. Vermouth? No.
vermouth. I like vermouth because Campari, Negroni.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I like things that are all alcohol. Like I like a Negroni.
Yeah, a Negroni is great, but
But a martini just, doesn't have any flavor. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm drinking the wrong ones.
yeah. Anyone who drinks martinis, tell us where to go and get a good one.
Yeah. There's a bar in London which is on my list to go to. It's called Duke's, I think, and they only serve you two because they're so strong and so good that like they'll only serve you two martinis, but their martinis are supposed to be amazing.
Wow.
Well, we'll go there after we've had our caviar bumps and oyster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will really set us up for a night of drinking.
This is
Just
shaping up
die
to
for
be a
like
good
4
night.
days afterwards. Oh.
Julia, have you got any tattoos?
No, I really want one.
Was that on the list? Get a tattoo?
Yeah.
It's on the list. I can't have one because my dad would like totally disown me. And I was saying this to someone the other day because I got some temporary tattoos made for the launch. And I was saying to someone the other day that I was really liking it and I really wanted to get one. And I said I couldn't because of my dad. And they were like, how old are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm 47. Yes,
Yeah,
but I still am too scared that my dad would like literally disown me.
Yeah.
So I might have to get one and have it somewhere but then what's the point of having one that is never on
can't
show
see it.
anyway?
Yeah. I think he'd probably go,
No, he wouldn't.
oh, really? Really against them?
Yes,
Well,
for some
don't blame me
reason.
then. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird. He's not into tattoos. Yeah, but I would love to have one. But also, you get past a certain age. I think when I get to like 60 or something, am I going to want to get a tattoo then when your skin's
Yeah.
going all...
Yeah. Get
I
people.
think but then
people
your
just
skin
be like,
goes
she's
all
tough.
at 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do then when I'm 60.
I think
I
when you get
had-
the idea in your head and it stays
Yeah.
there for long enough, then that's when you
You know
know
it's
it's time to
time.
get one. Because
Yeah.
I had one about 18 months ago now, and I've not quite had the urge for another. But when it comes,
Okay.
I'll have to go and do it.
Yeah.
How many of you? You've got loads, haven't you?
Loads.
I think you
7.
should get your sprayed edges somewhere.
They are good, aren't they?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could get one down here and one down here.
Oh, just like a one from each one. A little
Yeah.
skull. Yeah.
Sprayed
when I-
edges.
When I was
I know.
like,
Sorry.
What show off.
yeah. When I was in my, gosh, how old was I? I can't remember. Like I was late teens or early 20s. No, it must have been early 20s. And I got my belly button pierced and I didn't tell my dad because I knew he would like hit the roof. And then I had to have my wisdom teeth taken out. And I was like I was at my parents' because I was completely knocked out. And I think I was like all over the place. And like my dad was like escorting me into the house from the car. And like I sort of flopped on the living room in the sofa and my t-shirt went up and he saw my belly button piercing. And then so he just waited for me to come round. And then he was like, "What's that thing in your stomach?" And I was like, "Oh."
See,
My
I
parents
really...
have never been bothered, you know.
I had my belly button pierced and my dad would have hated that and I must have just covered it up loads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my
but-
belly button pierced in Affleck's Palace
Oh,
and then went to the pub and it happened to be St. Patrick's Day, which I didn't realise. So there were loads of really drunk men in there and I passed out. I was fine when I got it done and everything.
no.
And then I think I looked at it and I don't know if it's because there was blood on like the bandage or something, but I literally just like face
Oh.
planted in the pub.
Oh
and
my
everyone
God.
all around me was like, whoa, thinking that I was just
no.
totally hammered.
Yeah. Belly buttons are
Oh my God.
weird though, aren't they? I
I
took
always
mine
wanted
out
mine
because
done, but
I was-
was never confident enough to get it done.
No, I just went and did it on a whim one
Yeah, me
lunchtime at
too.
work, and
But that's
but
what
then
I did with my first tattoo.
I was so
Yeah.
worried that I was going to catch it on the desk, and I ended up taking it out because I was like, I'm going to catch this on something.
Mine just went really manky and just never
Yeah.
healed and just stank. So I had to
Yeah.
take it
like
out.
on Kevin and Perry's, what was it called? The Kevin and Perry movie. You know, when the two
Yeah.
girls get ready and they pop all of their spots and then they come out and they're gorgeous. There's a bit where they pop a belly
Oh,
button.
Gross.
oh, it was a bit like that, yeah.
So good.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway.
What other research then?
Well, so I didn't, again, another one I couldn't bring myself to do was to go to a sex club.
Oh, so yeah, I thought you were going to say that you did go to one.
No, no. I did a lot of reading around, which I found traumatic in itself.
Yeah.
There were lots of reports of like journalists, going to these sex clubs to see what they're about. And actually, I have to say, pretty much all of them were really positive. They all went in a bit cynical and a bit like, this is going to be a bit grotty and horrible. And I think all of the ones I read were like, actually, it was really freeing and everyone seemed really comfortable and open and happy. And
They have to be open, Julia.
Oh, there's my cringe. Charlie, though, the way she is when she goes in and like what she's thinking and what she's feeling and how she feels when she comes out.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine like most people probably would.
Yeah.
You're a bit
Yeah.
like not horrified, just and not
a
even
bit
sad.
grossed out, or not grossed out, but
Yeah.
like
Grossed
it's that
out
thing
and a
of
bit
like, she talks in the book about how,
like demoralized or something.
yes,
Yeah.
she talks about how like she looks around and everyone's just like really average and normal, and it could be like a Pizza Express except there are no kids there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think when I imagine it, that's kind of what I imagine, is that
Yeah.
it'll just be like, your neighbor Mark or something, and but in
Yeah.
like a gimp mask or something. It's
And
like,
and he
oh.
socks like
Yes,
just it's
And because her friend kind of abandons her, doesn't she, in
Yes.
the club? And
yeah,
I think that would make you feel unsettled anyway, whatever the environment is as well. But obviously, in that sort of environment, you're just like, oh, yeah.
and then a couple start having sex next to her on the wall.
Yeah, you just
But,
like
but like, honestly, all these reports were like, it's just a really free space, and everyone, because it's all consensual. And I think there are kind of like, not rules, but kind of signals or stuff like within those places. So it's quite clear if people want you to join in or want you just to watch, or, and there are separate spaces for different things. Like there always seems to be a kind of dungeon room, which is a bit more on the kind of 50 Shades scale. And then there's another room like just for watching. But yeah, I think, like I said, the reports are all like, it's a really positive, good, sexually positive experience. I just don't think it's one that I.
No, not for me, not for us. That
no.
won't be on our list after we've done our oysters.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we've done our oysters, our caviar bump, our martinis.
I think a Taylor Swift night would be more my vibe after that than a
Yes.
than a
But
dungeon.
I've got quite a few friends who have said to me since reading the book that it's on their list. Going to a sex
Really?
club. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Oh,
think maybe it's
now I'm
maybe
wondering
it's
like
It's not on my list.
no, but I'm wondering
No.
like which of my friends. There's a couple that I reckon. Yeah.
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 There's probably quite a few who have done it as well.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's not the kind of thing, unless you're a super open person anyway. It's not the kind of thing that on a, Saturday morning Costa run or whatever, you'll be like, so
Yeah.
last
Are you
night.
trying to get my like face on camera?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just taking pictures.
It's a bit like OnlyFans, because you can only do so much research into OnlyFans before you have to dive in and actually
Yes.
subscribe to OnlyFans.
Have you done it yet?
No, I'm not
No,
there yet.
I know it's.
I keep making the
keep
excuse
saying
that
right.
I'm gonna do it when I get paid. When I get paid, I'm like, on payday, I'll subscribe to OnlyFans. But I've done a lot of research. I've watched a couple of documentaries, and I follow them on LinkedIn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I've seen their like CEO, I think she is, talk about the platform and about what it is. And
Have you read Margot's Got Money Troubles?
I have not read it because I don't want to have any like, oh, I wish I'd done that.
The influence
But
of it.
I will, once I've finished this, I will read it, and I want to watch it as well.
Yeah, it looks good.
That was one of my favourite books last year. That and Wedding People were my two favourite books. And I've listened to her say that I think she paid OnlyFans people, like whatever you'd call them, account holders. To talk to her, ask them questions, and I think she did a lot of like full on sort of research in that way.
Because that is, I'll just say again, I have not read the book, but I did borrow the book from the library because when we were like doing our orders, I was like, that looks really good fun, was the title. And then I remember standing in my bedroom reading the blurb, and I was like, that is such a good idea for a book, because I love wrestling as well.
Okay.
And I was like, this is like, and then I remember it so clearly. I like when it was like zing, and I was like, vampires on OnlyFans, like it just happened. And the whole, offering Edward and the Lestat and all these different like fictional vampire packages. That's where the idea all came from. But no, I have not read it. So.
Oh, it's going to be right up your street then if you're into wrestling as well.
Yeah, I look
forward to it. Such a good book. It's so good.
Might be one to read once you've done your edits.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can read it and then make sure you've not like overlapped, like I'm doing with Twilight.
Yeah.
I went to see, this is a total offside, I went to see the drama yesterday.
Oh yeah,
is it good?
That. Yeah.
It's really good. I do not find him attractive.
No, me neither. I didn't. When he was cast as Edward, I was like, no, wait a minute. This guy is meant to be like young Brad Pitt, the hottest thing you have ever seen. Like, that's what, like, the hottest man that I could think of at that time was like Thelma and Louise, Brad Pitt.
Yes,
you know,
100%.
And then it was him, and he was just like this wet wipe of an English guy. And I was like, no, when I see them every day.
You know the scene where they're together and they get out of the car at school and everyone's like watching, and he had his sunglasses on and like he's got his arm round her. That was on my 30th birthday cake, that scene.
Was your face on it?
Loved it so much. No, not me, sadly. But yeah, I mean, he did a great job though. He was, to see him talking about it now is really funny, because he's obviously got to the point now where he's accepted it. But have you seen that thing where he was saying he watched it recently?
No.
And there's a bit where, I'll adjust my thing in a minute. He walks in, it's the first time she's seen him in the school cafeteria. And he said, I watched it recently and I don't know why I did this, but it was obviously a choice. He said, as I sit down, he does this with his fingers. Sits down and he does that with his fingers. Rests on the table, and he's like, I don't know why I did it. I think it was because I thought it was like a really fancy way of like sitting down, by like putting my fingers like that
an
first.
old-fashioned way.
Yeah, an old-fashioned way of sitting down. And he's like, he said, I don't think I could do that role again now, because I just don't know. He said it just went. He went into it like really seriously, didn't he? And but yeah, it is fun.
They all play it so straight. I think that's like one of the best bits of it.
Yeah.
I did love, they did a bit of promo for the drama, and somebody said something about Team Jacob, and he went, Team Jacob, does that even exist? He's like, no, that was just marketing. Nobody was Team Jacob. So he's definitely like having fun with some of the questions, I think.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. He's got a sense of humour.
Did Josh watch it recently, and he was saying how good the baseball scene was, and I was like, and then they never speak of baseball ever again for the rest of the saga.
But it's a really big deal, isn't it, the baseball bit?
Yeah, it is.
So funny. I can't wait. Can't wait to read it.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't.
Yeah. Julia, what are you working on at the moment? What's
Well,
next?
Oh,
girls, you're going to have to get me back if I won't say if, I'll say when, manifesting
Yeah,
when
yeah.
this book sees the light of day, because I am having to do some research for this, and it's a lot more up your street in terms of goriness, Cynthia.
oh,
Um,
exciting.
but yeah, so I'm working on, so again, like out of contract, I'm working on something that is quite different for me. I'm still trying to put some humor in, but it is, I guess you'd call it speculative, although I'm never entirely sure what that means.
No, me neither.
But I think it's speculative. It's kind of a bit body horror, maybe, maybe not quite. Yeah,
Mm.
What would you comp it to? Or like what author?
maybe like kind of like the substance meets the husbands,
Okay.
maybe just in terms of like tone and some content, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm working on that, and then we'll see. Who knows? I also really want to
Yeah.
write another YA, but I just haven't quite found the right idea yet.
Yeah. And I think now is probably the time to think of an idea rather than write one. I think YA's kind of plateauing. Just as it
Yeah.
does, like comes in cycles, doesn't it?
Yeah, although some things are still doing well, aren't they? But yeah, I think
Yeah.
what I write isn't. So I like contemporary, sort of like funny contemporary, not massive things happen. And I think that's
Yeah.
not the market that's doing best at the moment in YA.
Yeah, it's still very romanticy.
Yeah.
Hopefully very horror romance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's apparently, and dystopian's making a comeback,
I
isn't it?
believe so. Veronica Roth has announced a book.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Who
love
wrote
how
The
she was like, it's
Divergent?
not
yeah.
from someone else's perspective.
Did
It's like, all
she?
right,
Oh,
Veronica,
shade.
calm
Veronica,
down.
come on the
Yeah,
pod and tell us all about it.
yeah.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
funny.
I would definitely like to write another YA at some point. Just need to
Mm.
wait for the right thing. So the thing I'm
That's
writing
it.
at the moment, the idea literally just came to me when I was at a tiny little gig in a record store listening to this song. It's one of those that is so annoying when writers say this. It's like they're like, oh, and the characters were just fully formed. It
Yeah.
wasn't quite that, but the idea did literally like smack me around the face and was like,
Mm.
write me now. And it's like that. Have you read is it Big Magic, that Elizabeth Gilbert book
No.
Oh,
on
yeah,
like
yeah.
creativity and writing? And she talks about how ideas basically like float on the air and they'll come to you and you have to grab them. And if you don't, someone else it will
Yeah,
float along to someone else.
yeah.
Ah,
And the example she gives in the book is actually really quite freaky. You should read it. It's quite good. If you like those kind of creativity
Mhm.
books and that
yeah.
stuff,
I like
it's quite
listening
a
to
good
them.
one.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a good
that'd be a
one.
good one to listen to.
Yeah. My
Okay,
idea
so
for my adult book came when I watched the very first episode of Agatha All Along because I text Georgia immediately like, "Oh, it's given me this idea," and that's what I'm going to try and write now.
What's Agatha All Along? Oh, is
it's
that
The
the?
Marvel
Oh,
thing,
okay, yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like the least Marvel-y one ever, and
Okay.
it's
You'd
just
love
about
it, Julia.
oh,
You'd
you would love
absolutely
it.
love it. I think the first episode is a bit of a slog because it just feels like a sort of like, and I know that's the
Yeah.
episode that gave Cynthia the idea, but it's kind of more sort of policey sort of thing. But then it really like jumps into the magic for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's only one series, like that's it. They're not making any more, but
No.
it's worth watching just for her in it. She's brilliant.
Okay.
Can't remember her name.
Oh, Catherine something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've forgotten as well.
Yeah.
We all know who Agatha is.
Oh, she's the one. I can picture her. I know who you
Yeah.
mean.
She's
She's
been
in-
around for just ever.
And she's
Like she's
gonna
in
be-
Step Brothers and all of
She's
those
playing
things.
Mother Gothel in the
Yeah.
live action version of Tangled, and she'll be perfect in that.
She will be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love her. She's brilliant.
Oh yeah, watch that. It's good. It's a really good one for. I think Luke went away. And I was like, what do I watch tonight? And Georgia said, have you done this yet? So I said no. And I just watched a bottle of wine, entire thing, start to finish.
Hey.
And it was just joyful. Like
Oh.
so
Catherine
good.
Hahn. Catherine
Yes,
Hahn.
that's
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Save it for spooky season.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous to watch in October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to rewatch Gilmore Girls in the autumn as
Oh,
well. And I never get
yeah.
around to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that
Yes.
this year.
Um,
be prepared to find it quite annoying at times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
remember
love it so
recommending it
much,
to my
but
best friend, and she was like, "Dude, I can't watch this. This woman is too annoying."
there's just
Yeah.
bits when you question all of their life choices. Like, yeah, but
They're
it's still
both the
lovely and it's
worst
still fun.
Yeah, they're so self-centered, the pair of them. I mean,
Yeah.
Lorelai called her daughter Lorelai. Like, how self-centered is that? And I think I was watching it a lot when I wrote Pros and Cons, because there's this one scene where there was so much dialogue. It was like, and
Like them too.
yeah, they just, my agent and my editor kept coming back and saying, "Can we cut this down more? Can we cut it down more, please?" Because everyone's queuing in a queue in like a
Oh,
in a
I know
big,
which bit you
yeah,
mean. Yeah.
and they keep passing each other in the queue, and they're having this like really snippy argument, and like all these other people get involved. But yeah, it was just like going on and on and on. I think that's what it was, because I've been watching Gilmore Girls. But anyway, I feel like I need to say that I really adore Veronica Roth. Like, I wasn't, slating her before in case I get
No, I
cancelled or
think it's
something.
brilliant.
Yeah, no, good for her. And I love those books, Divergent. And I think the final movie was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? Was that when they?
I only
I
ever
don't know.
watched the first one because I think I'd
Yeah.
liked the book so much that when I watched the
Yeah.
first film and I was like, okay, I think I prefer the books and I think I will leave it there.
But she's doing it in an alternate universe where she chooses a different faction, which is
I think
like,
so. Yeah, something like
it's a really
that.
good idea. Anyway,
If she went
Julia,
all the
read
way.
it or
I want to
seen
know
it.
more about your book that you've got hidden away in your drawer that you nobody, maybe the right time's coming for that one as
Well,
well.
that's what I keep thinking,
Yeah.
but my agent keeps saying no.
No.
And she has tried a lot, bless her.
Mhm.
I have forced it upon her a few times. I'll send it to you, Georgia. You
Yeah,
can read
good.
it.
I'd love to read it. Do you think we should wrap this up now? I know we could go on forever and ever.
Yes, probably.
I've got to
So-
drive down to the island.
Oh, how lovely. Julia, if people want to find out more about you, where can they find you online?
I am on Instagram and Instagram only, I think. I do have a TikTok account, but I've never used it. So yeah, I'm just at Julia Tuffs on Instagram. I do have a website as well, but that's not updated since Twice Hexed. So maybe just stick to Instagram.
Yeah. And quickly, are you reading anything at the
Yes,
minute?
well, I'm reading my very good friend Amy Beashall. I'm reading her book at the moment, but I'm about to read, which I'm very excited by,
Oh,
the Lena Dunham Famesick one.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be, I love her. I think she's so brilliant and clever and articulate. I know there are problematic parts of her, but she's very good at acknowledging those. And also there's quite a lot in there about her illness and like living with a chronic illness. And I think as someone who's got an autoimmune, I think I'm really going to resonate with that part of it as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. That's my next read.
Amy's book is called Bad Manners, isn't it?
Yes,
Is it Bad Manners? Yeah.
her
And
latest one, yeah.
Yeah, it's got, the cover is brilliant. So you probably will recognize it when you look at the cover, because I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah, she's brilliant. That's a good
Lovely.
one.
Okay.
all right.
Well,
Thank
it's
you
been
very
so
much.
nice chatting. I feel so spoiled seeing you twice in 1 week.
I know.
Yeah,
It's been
lovely.
lovely.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like we've just had a catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Sorry
been
for
great.
everyone who got bored and doesn't have
Yeah.
our sense of
Well,
humour.
We
but
just
We can do it again when we meet in London for our oyster night.
yeah.
a caviar bum,
Put it in the
champagne,
diary.
oyster. Yeah, let's get that in. I'm going to hold you to that. We've got to do that.
Yeah, no, we should.
I want to go
Yeah.
to a Taylor Swift night though as well. So
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
when
yeah.
that's on, let's get it
Yeah,
all.
we'll combine.
Yeah.
And go and get our
We could all go
tarots
and vomit at the Taylor Swift
Yeah.
night after we've had oysters.
We've talked about getting our tarots done before, haven't we, Julia? When I was going to
Yes.
come, yeah, we just couldn't get the right time. But
Yes.
yeah,
There's a good person that I go and see at Treadwell Books.
okay.
We can go there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
I've
what a
never done
fun
that.
night.
Oh, that sounds like a fun day.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
All
do
right
it.
then. Okay.
Lovely.
Well,
Cool.
nice to see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Browser history deleted.